when words don't match actions.
Labeling your partner, and I'm gonna go with narcissist. Submitting to your husband. Triggers versus cognitive distortions, guys. Ooh, this might trigger you and put you into your own distortion. 90% of marriages fail
when words don't match actions.
Marriage, communication, mistakes. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And we've got a good one for you today. Why? Because communication is like one of the number one things people search for on Google, on YouTube, when they are inundated in their social media feed. Communication issues everywhere. And I don't think this is talked about enough. Not communication, but the fact is that stringing words together out of your fucking mouth is not communication. It's not. And I believe that if you understood more of what you were saying versus what you were doing, we'd have a lot less marriage problems. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Well, I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to be in line with what you're going to say today.
It's okay.
So people say actions speak louder than words, right? You can trust someone's actions. I always tell my wives, actions don't fucking speak louder than words. Your husband forgets how to act. He says he loves you, but he acts like he doesn't. Trust what he says. He's not manipulative enough to tell you that he loves you if he doesn't. He's acting like he doesn't because he has walls of bitterness and resentment that have come up. So he's acting in ways that his body tells him to act when he gets triggered and overwhelmed and flooded. But he says, I love you. Well, why does he say I love you? And then he doesn't come home until 8 o'clock at night. He stays and has beer with the boys. He doesn't help me with the kids. He doesn't do this. If he says he loves you, he says he wants to stay married, please hold on to that because he used to know how to act. He doesn't anymore because of the walls that have been built up.
That's right. You can see why this is obviously, and this is not where I was going to go, you're right, but I'll go there after. You can see why this would make sense when we're talking about common problems in marriage, and one of the biggest ones being communication, because we often hear what we don't want to hear or see what we don't want to see. We sit there in the negative. On a coaching call today, Dennis and I, we were just tag teaming. There's like 3 guys in a row who were just nonstop the thought process in your mind based off what their wife was saying. And almost every day in a coaching call, we can do that and go, whoa, 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 whoa. But did you see how she was right there with you, supporting you for this or supporting you for that? So you get so wrapped up, people get so wrapped up in what the words are or are not based off of their own thought process, right? In which case, by the way, maybe you have a bigger problem that we don't really talk about. You're communicating with yourself fucking wrong, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Now, let's address that for a second because actions, I think, do speak louder words, but not going against what Kathryn just said. If you can understand that the person you are trying to become will say and do things, and those must align, that is completely different than what Kathryn is talking about here. So now you can see that if we're addressing 2 separate sides here, we're all of a sudden going to have a real problem with communication because you're always going to go back to your perception. I mean, for goodness sakes, sometimes people, you say something, it's not even what you mean. It used to be like that. You'd catch me, you'd be like taking everything so literal, right? And I'd be like, well, she's a freaking genius, first of all, smarter than fucking Google, and now we know AI, Gemini. But anyway, so when I'm talking to Kathryn, if I'm not explicit, like clear with what I'm saying, meaning I better process before I get out of my mouth, because she will catch it. She'll be like, well, you just fucking said, well, you didn't say fucking, but Kathryn doesn't talk like that to me, but you just said. And then if you tie that back to like the actions that you're supposed to have, I'll use a super, super simple example. 2 men this week, yesterday and today, I called out on, they both come a ways in their fitness journey, their health journey, okay? Now, it's not going to save your marriage, but it's fucking important. And if you want to, create a new marriage and live your life, then you're gonna have to be healthy and blah, 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 okay? Well, the first man, I said to him yesterday, like, dude, you say you want to work out, and yes, you've lost 65 pounds or whatever, and yeah, you look pretty good, but you never finished it, which means your actions no longer align with whatever words you said where you said it mattered, right? Especially when you sold yourself as to why, and this man in particular had to like balance out time for working out and busy selling himself and why he wants to work out, but then you don't finish it. Well, it's a communication issue now because your actions don't align. The other man, 17 pounds, and it's taken way too long. Like, that's great. If you're happy losing 2 pounds a month, I understand that. But are you saying you're doing everything you can? By the time Dennis and I were done questioning him, you don't align at all with your words. In fact, you're literally saying, I want to take care of my health. But because of this action, let's say how often you work out or the intensity. This action, let's say, what you're choosing to work out or when you're having cheat meals. This action, let's say when you're drinking. Well, 2 pounds is not enough in a month.
I feel very called out right now.
Oh gosh, I'm not
Just
talking
joking.
about what in the world?
Just joking.
So I think that this is really, really important to understand. Depending on the angle that you're looking at this when it comes to actions and words, the reality is you need to be clear with what you're saying, and that needs to align with the values that you have, and that needs to align with the direction that you're going, or none of it will matter. I'll give you another example. There's a man today who said, when I tell my wife that I love her, she says, you're not validating me. I said, give me some more. Well, she says, I don't want to hear I love you. Okay, this is common, okay? Don't say I love you, don't call me babe, whatever. And you're not respecting my boundaries, or I feel invalidated. And I said, go on. Well, I said, well, I just want to be comfortable expressing what I need. Like, oh my gosh. What are you doing, man? You're not validating, you're defending your needs and what you want. That is not even structuring where you want it to go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
What should he have said? He said, don't tell me you love me.
Like, well, I do, but I won't tell you then.
See, that's a stat response, you guys. See how cute she is, by the way? So like, when you understand, you don't have to validate everything, by the way. The very fact that he says I love you is the invalidating part. So it doesn't matter really what comes out of your mouth. The action of I just want to tell you that I love you by just saying I love you, or even the cute way that Kathryn did, you're already fucked. Like, you're not valid. You're doing what you want, which means you're not respecting their boundaries. Well, I'm going to respect the boundaries of the person who wants the fucking marriage.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you I love you anyway.
Yeah.
I wish I'm going to think it. Can you read my mind?
I can read your mind very, very well, I think. But
What am I thinking
love
right now?
to hear it. How much you want to take my clothes off?
I was thinking I love you.
Oh, well, like
He's
I said.
so invalidating,
like I
you guys.
said. Oh, he's so invalidating, you guys. You guys, you have to get clear with what you're saying, why you're saying it. Another good example would be like apologies, right? Most of the time we apologize, we don't even know why we're apologizing or why it happened, so you can't actually mean the apology, which means your actions in the future won't align with your words, and therefore you are
Lying.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, okay? Even though you probably aren't lying.
You probably have good intentions with your apology, but you do need don't get me on about apologies, but when you hurt someone, it's an indicator that you might need to apologize. But that doesn't mean that you have to apologize. Don't apologize to someone just to fix the way that they feel. Apologize to someone because the way that they feel affects how you feel, and that invokes empathy and compassion, and you say, oh, did I do something wrong? I must have done something wrong. And then you apologize. It can be genuine and authentic when you feel like you did something wrong. Yes. If you're just apologizing to mitigate the symptoms of your partner's pain, that might be nice for a moment. But if you don't feel it and you don't know why you're apologizing, you're apologizing. If I apologize to my husband just because I hurt him, and I say that I'm sorry for what I did, but really I'm not sorry for what I did, don't say you're sorry for that. You can repair. You can be there. So if I do something that hurts my husband, I don't have to say I'm sorry for doing it. I can validate his pain and be there for him through his pain, empathize and show compassion without saying I'm sorry for making you the wrong dinner. I'm not sorry for making you the wrong dinner. See what I mean? Like you have to be, you didn't like that? Oh, this reminds you of, you don't apologize because you didn't do anything wrong. Now, if you did something wrong, again, that's the indicator. If he's upset because I cooked him the wrong dinner, and this is, I don't actually cook dinner, you guys, so this is like out of left field. But if he's upset about it, and I think about why he might be upset, and I'm like, oh shoot, I really did do something wrong because this was really triggering. I should have been more compassionate. I am actually sorry because what I did hurt him, and now I'm feeling like an idiot. Then I can apologize and say, baby, I'm so sorry that I...
So in this example, the action is the apology, but you see what we're saying is the words don't align if it doesn't even hit you. You see that? Let's use a different common one. Let's go back to validation for a second, okay? It's so common for when people are trying to repair, whether you're listening to a therapist or some bullshit on social media, all the fake shit, right? Or even your partner saying, I need you to understand me, okay? First of all, understanding is different than validation, which is different than empathy, which is different than compassion. And if you guys don't know the fucking difference, you need to educate yourself, because that's probably what's happening half the time here. They're telling you they need something and they don't even know what it is, okay? Now, in the case of validating, is like the first step that so many of you take, like in the stat response, the T is for triggers, understanding who is being triggered and why, and so you can start to understand them and become validating, empathetic, and compassionate, and then you structure out of it. Okay, leading to the next level, the next destination of where you want to go. Most men, it's very common to talk about in the program, they learn the stat response and then they get stuck in validation mode. Because also, They're focused on what they understand of validation. And your action is the validation, even though you're using words, okay? Because you're choosing, and you don't even know this, to manipulate your partner by trying to manage the moment, like Kathryn was talking about the apology, with the validation, right? Which is when it doesn't work and you can't fix it, which is why you start to get defensive. I'm just expressing my needs. I should be allowed, right? Make sense? If you want more, sounds to me like the basics we talk about with communication. You're better off not fucking talking, learning some skills for 30 days. Make sure you let your partner know what you're doing. You can't just not talk, or learn to manage the moments, okay, without shutting down, but ideally understanding structure and moving it forward while you're learning the skills, and then you can have some real conversations. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
You have anything you want to add?
No.
God, you're beautiful. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.